Family dinners were always a mix of chaos and nostalgia, the kind of evenings where stories from decades ago collided with the present, laughter echoing through the dining room, and arguments simmered under polite smiles. That evening, however, felt different. My grandfather, a man of immense wealth and even greater presence, had arrived earlier than usual. The room smelled of roasted chicken, cinnamon, and subtle hints of expensive cologne. I was feeling restless, slightly awkward, unsure of my place among relatives who seemed so effortlessly accomplished. I had recently returned from college, juggling jobs, bills, and dreams that felt just out of reach. Compared to cousins who flaunted success on social media and siblings with high-paying careers, I often felt invisible, like a footnote in my own family story. I smiled politely at greetings, nodded through conversations, and tried not to draw attention to my own insecurities. Grandfather, however, had always had a sharp eye for truth. As he made his way through the room, shaking hands, exchanging jokes, I felt the usual mix of admiration and fear. He was a man who commanded respect without trying, whose presence alone made everyone sit a little straighter. I braced myself for a casual pat on the back or a passing comment about my progress, nothing more. But then it happened. After greeting a few of my relatives, he turned his attention toward me. His eyes softened, and for the first time that night, he smiled. Not the polite, distant smile reserved for family gatherings, but a warm, genuine smile. He crossed the room with quiet confidence and wrapped me in a hug that carried years of unspoken approval, guidance, and care. "Grandson," he said in his deep, steady voice, "hope you're enjoying life." The words struck me in a way I hadn't expected. Enjoying life? Here I was, stressed about unpaid bills, student loans, and uncertain career prospects. Yet in that moment, I realized he wasn't asking for accomplishments, wealth, or fame. He was asking for happiness, for fulfillment, for the kind of life that made my heart light despite its burdens. I pulled back slightly, meeting his gaze. I'm trying, I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. He chuckled, a low, rich sound that seemed to fill the room. "Trying is good," he said. "But remember, life isn't about trying to impress anyone. Not family, not friends, not even me. Life is about feeling alive in your own skin." I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. For years, I had measured my worth against others, comparing my progress to theirs, always feeling a step behind. But my grandfather's words cut through all that noise. It wasn't about the competition or the accolades. It was about joy, curiosity, and resilience, living fully, regardless of circumstances. The rest of the dinner passed in a blur. Conversations swirled around me. Politics, family news, distant relatives' achievements. But I felt strangely grounded. Every laugh, every clinking glass, every shared story was a reminder that life was meant to be experienced, not merely endured. And in that moment, I understood something profound. My grandfather, with all his wealth and influence, valued something far simpler than money or status: the ability to live genuinely, with heart and presence. After dinner, as everyone lingered over dessert and coffee, I found myself lingering by the window, reflecting on his words. The night sky stretched endlessly above, and the quiet hum of the city reminded me that life was vast, unpredictable, and beautiful in its imperfections. I realized I didn't have to prove anything to anyone. I didn't have to match the successes of cousins or siblings. What mattered was authenticity, embracing my journey, however messy, and finding joy along the way. Grandfather approached me again, handing me a small envelope. Inside was a note: "Keep following your heart, not the crowd. True success is your own happiness." It wasn't money, or advice about investments, or a lecture about responsibility. It was a simple, heartfelt message, one that carried more weight than anything else I had ever received from him. I smiled, feeling tears prick at the corners of my eyes. I looked around the room, at family members laughing, teasing, sharing stories. And for the first time, I felt a sense of belonging that wasn't tied to accomplishments or approval. It was tied to presence, to connection, to the quiet acknowledgement that life, with all its ups and downs, was meant to be cherished. That night, when I went to bed, I held my grandfather's words close. Hope you're enjoying life. They echoed in my mind like a gentle mantra, a reminder that happiness wasn't a distant goal but a choice I could make every day. And in that simple hug, that brief exchange, I discovered a profound truth. Life's greatest wealth isn't counted in dollars or titles, but in moments of love, understanding, and authenticity. I fell asleep with a light heart, knowing that no matter where my path led, career, relationships, challenges, or triumphs, I had a compass. A compass rooted not in fear, comparison, or expectation, but in the joy of living fully and being true to myself.